Now, he's one of my heroes, John Carson, and I idolize him. But I also know that maybe not a great guy. Is that what you learned in the podcast?
Can you name 3 people that had a problem with him? Name 2 people that had a problem with him that have merit.
Joan Rivers.
Maybe Joan Rivers.
Okay, Joan's one.
I think she
and
is
we
one.
can talk. I can tell you what actually happened with Joan. Joan is one, yes. Okay, who's another person?
I would say maybe one of those guys, the story of him with a gun. That
I can tell you that story too, but that had he did carry a licensed gun.
Yeah, so
because Mark David Chapman, who killed Lennon, had a short list, and Johnny was on that list if it wasn't Lennon to kill, and the FBI constantly. There were threats to his life and people climbing over his fence in Bel Air and grenades and
What?
I mean, he was the most famous man in America. I mean, when you're that famous on TV and you're worth that much money. It was constant. I mean, threats to his life, and he was from the Midwest, and he did not want a bodyguard, so he carried a nickel-plated gun, and he drove himself. He's brown paper bag, sack lunch, just really a regular guy, but the threats to his life with people back then, it was a joke. Security was a joke. People constantly getting into Burbank, NBC Burbank, with guns and with knives. I mean, the guy just had, for self-preservation, had to kind of shut down just to get some rest. I mean, people would physically in public take him by the arm and they feel like they know this guy and be like, meet my friends, Johnny. And it was constant. But the Joan Rivers thing is definitely something people talk about. But the fact is, and she admits this, not only did she not tell Johnny, and Barry Diller told me to my face, who was the head of Fox, I told Joan, you need to tell Johnny. He's a friend of mine. I play poker with him. It was Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, Carson. She tried, and she admits that she tried to take Johnny's producer, Peter LaSalle. Every single talent coordinator offered to double their money and was trying to steal Johnny's staff. That was the thing that really hurt Johnny. And there's more that she did, but those are just some of the facts.
So your question was who had a problem with Johnny? Joan did not really have a problem with Johnny. Johnny had a problem with Joan.
Joan did not have a problem until Johnny stopped booking her because he was wounded. He was, for somebody that famous, very sensitive. He would talk about it on the air that he had a sensitivity problem. He said, critics hurt me. I don't believe anybody that comes here that says that it doesn't hurt them. I mean, he banned his friend Carl Sagan from the show for correcting him twice on the air and interrupting him. And it's things that wouldn't probably rattle somebody. He just was really, really sensitive. You wouldn't think. Same with Dave Letterman. Everybody that I know knows him. I had a job there for 11 months and 15 days, but who's counting? Extremely sensitive for somebody that dishes it out on air. So, the Rivers thing, I don't think she ever got over it. And it was really her husband, Edgar, who she deferred to, who was the one that was saying there's going to be unforeseen circumstances. If you tell Johnny, you cannot tell Johnny. She listened to her husband. And meanwhile, all her friends were like, Johnny's going to be upset with you. Yeah. You have to tell Johnny. And several of her friends say rightfully so he was upset. I mean, he could not believe somebody who he made the permanent guest host for the first time in history, who was commanding. She broke Frank Sinatra's record in Las Vegas when she became permanent guest host because you could command that so much money. And it was just all this loyalty. And I would talk to people famous, that were famous, not famous, that were friends with Johnny up until he died. And they said the thing he valued most was loyalty. And he could not believe that he had to find out from Brandon Tartikoff the day before the press conference. And it was just too late by the time Joan went to him and told him. I mean, she had just done the show 2 weeks prior and didn't tell him she was guest host in the show. And she let it slip that one of the reasons that she didn't tell him, other than her husband, is that she knew that Johnny would stop letting her guest host The Tonight Show. So instead of sacrificing 2 months of guest hosting The Tonight Show, she ruined up this friendship. Yeah. And I don't think she ever got over it. And every interview, she would badmouth Johnny, but she didn't mention the fact that she tried to take Peter LaSalle, who they would vacation together. Peter was furious. I mean, she told Barry Diller that Peter was going to come along, and Peter's like, I have no intention. And I talked to the talent coordinator, offered double the salary. No one went with her. I mean, Johnny would have told her, you have my blessing, go. I advise you against it because your style will not work every night. The reason it works is every 5 weeks you do this show, but you can't insult A-list celebrities like that. And then in your monologue, and Elizabeth Taylor is so fat, this and expect people to show up on your show. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, she took the money. It was a lot of money for the time, $7 million to do 3 years at Fox guaranteed. And then her husband everyone says was incompetent. And Barry Diller said, Joan, either your husband goes or we're axing you. And she thought he was bluffing, and he wasn't. And she was removed, and they had guest hosts after that. Arsenio was one of them. And Joan, then Edgar takes his life 2 months later. And Joan finds out she's, what is it, $29 or $39 million in the hole because of him, and he took his life. And I mean, she never got over the Carson thing. I mean, obviously Edgar, but yeah. So I go into everything in my story. I mean, I talked to over 400 people about this. I mean, I tried to talk to Miss Rivers. I met her twice. She was very nice to me. I tried to talk to Wayne Newton, who had problems with Carson. He would not talk to me, but I go into what actually happened with Wayne Newton, and there's lots of drama. But there's only a handful of people. Him and Ronnie.
To hear the whole conversation, subscribe for free on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, or visit nevernotfunny.com.